This is The Wow Effect, the podcast for women entrepreneurs who are scaling big. I'm Mallory Steele, and every episode expect honest conversations, actionable insights, and stories that make you say, wow. Welcome back to the Wow Effect podcast, where we jump into the journeys, lessons, and wow moments that shape extraordinary entrepreneurs. I'm your host, Mallory Steele. Today, I'm joined by the inspiring Breanne Jones, the founder of Soleil Media, a marketing agency built to bring humanity back into branding and storytelling. Breanne is all about authenticity, transparency, and connection, values that shine through in everything that she creates. In this episode, Breanne opens up about her journey from navigating anxiety and 9-to-5 jobs to building a business rooted in purpose. We talk about embracing imperfection, the mindset shifts that unlock growth, financial discipline as a tool for freedom, and how to know when it's time to outsource in your business. Breanne's story is raw, real, and packed with lessons that every entrepreneur can apply. Whether you're just starting out or scaling to the next level, I know you're going to walk away feeling both grounded and motivated. Let's go. So, Breanne from Soleil Media, I'm so excited that you're joining me today on the Wow Effect. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having me. This is awesome. I'm excited.
What made you say yes?
I do anything you tell me to do or ask me to do. So it's gotten me thus far. So it hasn't failed me yet. So yeah, I was like, you asked me to come on, and I am a big believer in what the WOW community and the community you built has accomplished and where it's gotten me. And yeah, I'll do anything for you. So
yeah. I didn't even pay you to say that. I love it.
I'll invite you later. No, I'm kidding.
Tell me you make steady progress in your business. Mm-hmm. None of these questions are scripted, by the way. I love how you show up all the time with the right attitude and consistency. And I'm just thinking about what inspired you to go down this path? What was the spark that triggered this whole entrepreneurial journey for you?
Yeah, well, I always had this, I don't know if you call it an inner knowing, a pull. I don't know what it was that I always wanted to work for myself in some capacity. I honestly didn't know what that looked like. When I was young, it was I wanted to be famous. I wanted to be this, I wanted that, because I wanted full control over my life. I remember literally sitting my mom down one day and being like, I want to be a pop star. And I don't know why, and I remember writing down in my journal, because I wanted to help people. I wanted to have control over my life. That was everything I wrote down. It wasn't just for the ego about being known and whatever. I just wanted to be different and be known for something. And so when I got graduate university and I started getting different jobs and stuff, I was great at my job, even when I was learning and whatever, I was always oh, she's a great employee. She does what she's told and she thinks outside the box and but I was always not fulfilled. And then I ended up developing a severe anxiety disorder and depression. And I just had this, I don't know, an epiphany. And I was like, I can't do this. This is not my life. The anxiety wasn't from that. It was lots of things from previous years and stuff. But I just realized that I just couldn't go in and work this 9-to-5, do what people wanted me to do, just the mundaneness of 9-to-5, and you work until you die, and then you live off the money that you've built. And it's just I just didn't like that kind of mundane aspect. And I remember one day when I was thinking about leaving my job in marketing, and I said to my parents, I was like, I don't know what to do. And my dad's like, why don't you just work for yourself? And I was like, I can do that? He's like, why not? And I'm like, how? I don't know. It was never they don't talk to you about it in school. Maybe now more so they do, because it's kind of an up and coming thing now. But for me, it was okay, you graduate high school, you go to university, you get a degree, you get a job, you get married, you have kids, right? And so it was just that was the mundane, and that's totally fine. I have friends that's their life. They've got 3 kids.
You're being an overachiever in all of the areas.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I was just I just always had this drive to do something more. I didn't know what it looked like. But I always loved storytelling and getting to know people and just connecting on an emotional level. And so here I am with my business 4 years later. So that was, that's where we are now.
I love it. And you slip these words in there very seamlessly. But I want to come back to it. You were very open to share about your anxiety and depression.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Because it's not talked about enough. And for at one point, like, I was literally afraid to live life. Like, it sounds stupid, but I was afraid to have weekend plans because it would make me have anxiety. Like, I had fear of the future. Like, I don't know what caused it. Like, I've done a lot of therapy on it, but I just realized that nobody was talking about it. And especially in business and entrepreneurship, like I didn't have anybody to really look up to, in a sense that, well, I found you, but like in a sense that shared openly about like their mental health struggles, but still accomplishing their goals, like, and their dreams. That wasn't something that was out there. And so I was like, I need to be that for somebody, because if there was somebody that was dealing with their mental health while building their dreams and their business and doing it despite everything they've been going through, like, I would have just like clung to that person, because you can still accomplish your goals and your dreams and have like a mental health diagnosis or severe anxiety disorder and depression. Like, you can work on it as you build. And if anything, entrepreneurship has been personal development on crack, like they say. Like, you know, you always like hear that saying, but it's true. Like, it's helped me heal my anxiety in so many different ways, because it's like exposure therapy. Like, going into a room of 25 people, talking about yourself, going to meetings where you don't know anybody, going to a conference where you don't know anybody, marketing your business online when you don't want to show up. Like, it teaches you so much discipline. And yeah, I wanted to be that person that was just open and honest. And the feedback I get when I talk to people is that, like, you're just you, like, you're real, like, you're professional, but you're also just human. And that's like just the biggest like compliment, because that's exactly how I want to be. And if I can just help one person say like, okay, your anxiety or depression or whatever doesn't define you, you can still accomplish your goals. Like, I've made it. Like, that's my goal in life. So yeah, that's why I'm open about it, because I don't know where I'd be if I hadn't talked about it. You know, like, would I be here? I don't know, because it's a dark place, right? And you just have to talk. And so if I can help somebody get through the dark times while accomplishing their goals and show them that there is a light at the end of the tunnel of what they're going through, then I've made it. You know, that's what makes me feel good inside. So yeah, that's why I do it.
And that's part of why I want to do this podcast, because I think there's so much magic in sharing stories, so you don't feel like you're alone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And you have brought that perspective into your own business.
I have. Yeah.
Tell us more about that.
Yeah. So like, I started Soleil Media when I was just like freelancing in my parents' basement after I decided, I wanted to work for myself. Like, I didn't know what that looked like. So I was just kind of like, didn't take it very seriously. I was kind of naive in terms of like what I understood about business. So the first 2 years I was like just doing contracts, had a couple clients, just figuring it out, whatever, did a contract at another agency to figure it out. And yeah, I just realized like there's a lack of like humanity in marketing sometimes. There's a lack of like honesty and transparency. And I worked in agencies, and clients just felt like their messaging was just being like muddled, and they felt like a number. And they didn't feel like they had that authentic kind of partnership. And so when I decided to, met you and was like, okay, we need to like go all in on this business kind of thing, I wanted to like make marketing feel human again. Put the storytell, talk about anxiety and mental health, if that's what you want to be, known for, or if like you're a dad of 3 and you've got a local business and you want to reflect that into how you're different in the market. Like, our thing is building brands that feel human. Like, we don't want to just have perfection and high quality and polishedness. Like, we can do that, but it's putting a human element back into it. So it's leveraging your teams, the family, the founder, the CEO, whatever it is, into the marketing, into their social media, into their website, into their email marketing, to showcase like we're real people behind this. And it's gotten me this far. So I'm very grateful for it. So yeah.
I love it. I had a couple of conversations earlier, and I might be throwing you on the spot with this one, but it was about branding. Yeah. Not about, some people get hung up on the logo and their website, and like the logo needs to be perfect before I go to market, and they don't realize they can evolve it over time, because you're going to evolve over time and you're going to learn new data and incorporate that. But it was more so being stuck around, okay, I'm shifting my identity. I'm now, 40s, 50s. Mm-hmm. I used to do corporate. Now I'm launching my own business. I've launched on the side, but I want to do it full time. It's not attached to my name, but I'm also, representing these types of products. And my mission is this. how the heck do I reinvent myself and figure out what my brand is?
Yeah.
Where did they even start?
I mean, like, I kind of was in that space when I found you, right? Like, I was kind of like, I want to do this, but I also want to be professional and help businesses, but I also want to help the average kind of person. And you were like, well, what's your vision? What's your mission for the business, right? And it's not getting stuck on the brand identity pieces, which is like your logo, your colors, your fonts, or whatever, because like I have a bit of like self-taught graphic design experience. And so I did my logo like 4 years ago, and we're just redoing it now to align with where we want to be. And it's about done is better than perfect. You know, it's always an evolution. It's never going to be perfect. Nothing's going to ever be 100% done. If entrepreneurship's taught me one thing, is that my to-do list is always going and growing, and I just have to be okay with that. Like, we just did a whole brand refresh. Like, I just had a photo shoot last week. We just got the brand identity package back, but like, we're still showing up. I'm still posting, you know, our new colors mixing in with the old colors. It's like, it's okay. It showcases the evolution of your business, and it ties back to the humanity aspect, right? Like, we're not like a massive, big, like, marketing agency. We're real people that are like working with local businesses. So if you see our old logo one week and all of a sudden it's the new logo, like, that's just the reality of when you rebrand or when you evolve in business. So you just have to be okay with it being messy, but done is being better than perfect. If you're showing up and you're being authentic in your messaging, like, the logo really doesn't matter technically, as long as you're just true to who you are and the mission behind your business. And I think that's the most important thing you've taught me, is like, who are you trying to help and why, right? That's always going to be your core mission and your core value. And so if your logo and the typography and your brand identity, your visuals change over time, it doesn't really matter as long as you're still true to who you are. So I think that's an important part. People always get hung up on the logo. Like, I know people that have started businesses like, oh, I'm waiting for my logos and stuff to come back. I'm like, why? Just start doing shit, you know? So hopefully I can swear. But I mean, it's you, so you swear. So
We are unfiltered. This is an unfiltered
yeah.
podcast.
So I'm just like, they're like, oh, I'm waiting for my photos to come back. I'm waiting for my like brand identity package to come back before I'm like, well, why? Do it now. Like, now is the beginning stages. Show the beginning stages, you know? Like, whenever we do the marketing roundtable, I'm like, if you're building a course and you're not launching for 6 months, like, you should be talking about it now. Like, why not? Like, who cares if it's not done? Done's better like than perfect, right? Like, just show up. It doesn't matter. So I think that's a big piece that holds people back. And it held me back for a long time too.
I was gonna say, did you ever make that shift? Like, were you the person in the other seat at some point? Because I'm a runner. Like, I'm like, when I decide, I'm running.
Yeah.
So I don't know how that transition works. Was there a strategy that helped you make that transition?
I think you helped me make that transition, because I'm like I'm a type A entrepreneur, like, you know, tad bit of OCD and like, you know, anxiety. Everything needs to be good and done and buttoned up and good to go. But like, you've taught me that, like, you know, as long as you're aligned with your mission and you're just showing up, it's everything's going to be understood and aligned with who you are, right? And so, yeah, I've learned if I don't show up for 3 weeks, it's worse than if I was just to maybe post like a not overly curated post, right? If I'm just showcasing, yeah, we're rebranding, here's what's happening. Like, took people along with our photo shoot last week. You know, I'm going to start showcasing the new logo and why we're changing and all that kind of stuff. And our slogans change, you know. If you do that more behind the scenes, people are going to understand it better. If as opposed to if I was just to be like, you know, all of a sudden posting new logo, new colors, new photos or whatever. Like, whereas if I take people along the transition, they're going to feel more connected to my business and my brand, as opposed to me just like launching a new logo like most businesses do, right? But yeah, I think it's just like, business is messy and entrepreneurship is messy, and you have to try 10 million different things before one thing works, and you have to be okay with that. And so I've learned that, and I've learned it through you, that it's like, if you just show the realness and the rawness, like, that's what's going to build like an authentic community of people that want to work with you or follow you, you know? So yeah, I've learned to just, you know, just be a little bit more messy and stuff, and still still aligned with my mission and who I want to help and whatnot. But it's like, if you wait 3 weeks to post content, like, that's worse than posting something that's maybe not entirely perfect, you know? So yeah.
I think you do a really good job of answering the question, who cares?
Yeah.
Because you're like, you painted the picture for me as you're describing like your whole process behind the scenes of the logo and the coloring and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Where I've seen some posts kind of fall flat. Okay, kudos to you for going up. But it was, you know, something like, big announcement coming. Okay, who cares?
No one cares.
Here's the big announcement. Here's our new logo. Who cares?
Yeah.
But showing the process of the story behind the scenes, now you've taken me on a journey.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like we've evolved from like I used to have Soleil Media. It was like a black logo and it was like modernizing your marketing. And now it's like, no, we build brands that feel human because we've pivoted. Like I don't want to just be another marketing agency. Like I want to, build human connections, market with emotion, like marketing psychology, get back to all that kind of stuff. And so I'm going to be taking people along with that journey and say this is why we rebranded, because we want to build brands that feel human in this world of like being sold to and ads and everything like that. It's like, if you're a local small business or even if you're a larger corporation, but you're a family owned company, like telling your story is so vitally important now to differentiate yourself in the market, and not enough people do it. Like how many realtors are there around us, right? Like mortgage brokers, insurance brokers and stuff like that. And they're all selling the same thing and talking about interest rate drops and whatever. Whereas if you told your story about why you got into this business to free up, your family's financial, be home for your kids, like all that kind of stuff, like that's what's going to draw people to work from you, not like an interest rate drop announcement. Like, you know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff is what helps differentiate you. So yeah.
I'm thinking about the six figures. So there's a lot of entrepreneurs aiming towards their six figures for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
They have maybe settled for the 40,000 to 60,000 range in a year.
Mm-hmm.
Was there a point where all of a sudden one client just took you over that edge? Or was it a matter of consistently showing up somewhere to get you to that point? Was there a belief switch that had to happen?
Yeah, I think it was definitely a belief switch, and it was just the way I operated and how I had to evolve. Like when I first started, like when I was just kind of freelancing for those 2 years, like again, I was naive. I was like, people are going to come to me. I just need to post on social media and I need to go viral and like I just need to do that. And then everyone's going to work with me. I almost had to like just stop doing the business because it wasn't obviously generating me results. Whereas when I started to go and build relationships with people authentically, just go out and meet people and talk to them and, be authentic in my messaging, like that's when the business really changed. And, I had the goal of like my first 100,000 or whatever like that. And I think there's a lot of crap online because like, especially in the world of like female entrepreneurs, like, oh, my first 100K bought myself like a Chanel bag and It's like, you shouldn't be buying that. Like you should be putting that money back in the business, like, I'm like, what are you doing? Whereas that used to be a goal of mine. Like I was like, my first 100K, I'm going to buy myself a luxury bag. And I'm like, I don't fucking want a bag. I want to put that in the bank so I can hire somebody, so it's like the priority has to shift, right? Like, do I want to be just comfortable making 100K and be able to buy designer bags, but never scale my business? If you're okay with that, sure. Whereas I want to build a legacy. I want to build this business up so I can start another one to help people with anxiety and entrepreneurship. Like that's where I want to go, right? So this is a stepping stone for me. So it's that priority shift. And why are you doing this, right? If you're okay with the 100K so you can buy yourself some nice stuff, like cool, go for it. But at one point, my husband had 3 jobs that I could do this business full time. And so I didn't take that lightly because he was exhausted for 3 years. And so my goal was for him to be able to quit the 2 jobs and focus on his 1 job. And so we got to that point, and that was a priority for us, not buying like a new car, a designer bag. Like some clients make fun of me because I just have an old car and it's kind of beat up and like, yeah, whatever, I don't care. But I'd rather hire people and get my husband not working 80 hours a week, like that's my priority. And so I think it is just like having a priority shift and looking at what propels your business forward. And it really is building relationships, building that kind of referral network, friend raising, like you say, it's just like, just being true to who you are and authentic. And that's what's really driven the business forward, because now consistently, just in the literally year 4, like a switch flipped. It's literally those connections I've made the last 4 years are coming back, and month over month, we have consistent flow of leads coming in now. And we've just really dialed in the messaging and the proposal process, and people feel it's a really curated and authentic process to them because it's all custom. And I think there's a lack of that because I even tried to automate things. We talked about this like a few months ago, and I ended up losing every proposal or every lead that came through. And once we went back to customizing it, and again, putting the human back into the lead process and the proposal process, we closed every single one. So again, it's just finding out, it's trying things, seeing what works, and not stopping if things fail. Like I think I used to get really hung up on like, I failed, this client's upset, and It's like, okay, shit happens, you make mistakes. How are you going to propel yourself forward, right? Like I'm like a solutions person now. Like I can't be around people that are like, oh, I'm going through this, I'm going through that. I'm like, how are you going to do? What are you going to do? How are you going to get better? How are you going to improve that? What's your plan? and they hate, like, probably get mad at me because like sometimes I wallow in the self-pity, but I don't, not for long. It's like, how can we move forward? How can we do better next time? How can we try 10 different things and get the same result? So I don't know. It's just a priority shift and a mindset shift. But again, entrepreneurship, it's personal development on crack. And it's changed me. It's made me a better person. I love who I am now. And I can confidently say that. I don't think I would have said that 5 years ago. But yeah, it's just like, what's your priority and where you want to be and having those goals for yourself. So
you've packed in like 100 gems.
I know. I was like, whoa, I just talked for so long.
Oh, that was so good. That was so good. There's like, I could unpack a few of those things, but
good. Yeah.
I love that you brought your husband home. I love that you shifted your priorities. And I think until you get to rich, you don't know what rich is. Just, there's that cliche of like, act as if, but there's too many people who are broke, acting as if they're rich, spending their money outside of their margin on things they cannot afford, and doing things that rich people actually don't spend their money on.
Exactly. Yeah.
Stay within their margin and live off of, 30%. Max of their revenue. So
it's a mindset.
Go down that road for a second. Within margin, how are you getting to the next step? Your next step is to hire another person. You're within your margin. You have reframed what it means to be at each different revenue level. You've taken your husband home from those 2 jobs. You're driving a beater car. Congrats to you. I always drove a beater car, but it was always paid for.
It's paid off. So hey, I don't care.
Yeah. So do you ever hear that in the entrepreneurship realm of like, I'm acting as if?
Yeah. It's I forget, like, I don't know the correct terminology, but it's like, act as if you already have it kind of thing, And so when I go out to networking events, like, and stuff like that, I act as I am that person 10 years from now, that business owner that has the 2-3 businesses with the agency operating on the side. Like, I show up in my 2015 Chevy Equinox, but I present myself that way by being authentic and carrying myself confidently and being confident about what my business can do for people. Like, whenever somebody signs on, like, I can 100% say that we will help you grow your business because of the years of experience that I have. And I know what they've been promised by other people. Like, I hear all the time, like, horror stories of other agencies, and I know confidently we don't operate like that. And so it is a mindset shift, right? And like, I pay myself enough to cover like our mortgage and our like living expenses and stuff like that. We haven't gone on vacation. It's our 3rd year wedding anniversary today. We haven't gone on vacation since our honeymoon 3 years ago. Like, we don't, like, I don't buy designer bags. Like I just bought myself a couple new outfits because I had some events to go to, but like, there's not a lot of extra. But we're okay with that because this is the building stage. And there's a point in business where you have to be okay with being uncomfortable. And I remember when I came to you like over a year ago, like you said, like I wrote it down in my journal because I was struggling so much with like the money mindset. And you said there's a point in business where you're putting out more than you make, but it's going to propel you forward. And here we are like almost a year later, and it's propelled me forward insurmountably. Right. And it's like, you just have to be okay and like have that trust and faith. If it's God, if it's the universe, if it's spirit, whatever, like, you just have to have faith that it's going to work. And like, you even gave me a ring at Christmas. It said faith over fear. And so I literally have it by my bedside because when I wake up and I'm anxious, it's like, no, faith over fear. You know it's going to work because you're putting in the work. And it's just that, right? Like, and any extra that's come in, any new clients that come on, like, that gets put in the bank to hire, it's not like, oh, I can give myself another $1,000 this month. It's like, no, I don't need another $1,000. I know what I can get by on monthly. When there is an excess of that, then yes, I will pay myself a bit more to be a bit more comfortable. But right now we're in the building stages. We're under 5 years in business, like, nose to the grindstone, so that in 10 years, I don't have to work like this, and that's the goal. So again, it's that priority shift, and it's having that discipline of where you want to go and what's your end goal. Right. And you've really helped me just reframe that. It's like, it might suck right now, but I'm going to be laughing in 10 years when I could retire my husband, probably sooner than that. Right. And, we can go on vacations and I have to work 10 hours a week instead of 65, it's like, I don't mind building it now because I know it's not going to be like this forever. And that's just,
and you're enjoying the journey and the process.
Yeah, I am. Yeah. There was a point of like burnout for sure, but then it was just realizing, like, we have done like your masterminds of like the I forget what they're called, but like the time, using your time efficiently, where you need to delegate and stuff like that in terms of where you grow. But it's almost like it's a rite of passage almost. Like you do have to go through those those 2.5 years in the beginning. Oh man, I don't know how I got through it. Like there was many tears, there was many late nights, there was many like waking up at 3 a.m. full of anxiety. Like my friends say, like, they're like, how do you do it? I'm like, I just can't not. Like I would rather not go to a 9 to 5 and someone control my salary, and I could still get fired at any point at a 9 to 5, just like a client could let me go. Like it's just like, what's the trade-off, right? So it's just like, what's your end goal? What are your priorities, right? It's just, yeah.
I used to say, thank God I didn't know all the things I was going to have to go through, because I never would have signed up for it.
Yeah, never would have.
One kind of prepares you for the next one, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Like me 5 years ago, if you told me everything I would have gone through up until this point, I would have been like, fuck no. Like that's not happening. But now I'm like, heck yeah, I went through all that. Like, look at me go. I have so much like confidence about myself now because of all I've been through. And I'm so glad I went through that, because it helped heal me in different ways, and it literally does prepare you for the next. It's like somebody has this plan laid out for you and you just don't know it yet, but every step gets you to the next one. And you look back, you're like, thank God that taught me that, because it helps to get you to the next point. So,
yeah. You work with a lot of entrepreneurs. Tell me the difference between the ones who are a good fit and the ones who are not.
Yeah, that was a big lesson for me. And it was something you also helped me with that. Because in the beginning, you're like, you just want clients, right? Like you want to get the work done. And sometimes you do have to kiss a few frogs before you end up with, your ideal client. And so I've worked with a lot of different businesses, and actually a lot of the businesses I first started working with 4 years ago are still with me. There's like, I think 2 that just, as I grew, I was like, this is not a good fit anymore. Like, let's part ways kind of thing. But it's almost like it's aligning those core values, right? Like when I went through your boot camp and stuff, it's aligning with your vision, your mission, what are your core values and who you want to work with. And it's not like in a sense, like personality matching, like everyone has a different personality. And as a business owner, and even in like a regular office setting, you have to be okay with working with different types of personalities, but it's about what are their core values and why they're operating their business and who they are, and just getting an understanding of why they're trying to grow and propel their business forward. And it's just kind of an understanding. Like I've gone in to meet with people and I've walked out after 20 minutes. I'm like, nope, that's not happening, because I'm just like, I just felt like a lack of respect, a lack of authenticity and transparency. Like they weren't telling me the full story. It's just like a kind of like a feeling of when you have a conversation with someone, you're like, I don't know if we're going to keep in connection, right? Like, I just don't think that was a good fit. It's the same way in business, right? But you do have to kind of go through like taking on those first couple clients just to get the results and get the work and the experience. But now it's like, if I meet with somebody and, we have like our criteria of who we want to work with, and we have like our discovery questions and stuff like that. And depending on how that goes, we can say like, yeah, I don't think it's going to be a good fit. We can't help you because your goals aren't really aligned. Like some people that have had like some crazy like requirements, but weren't willing to put in the effort. And so I just said, if you're not willing to put in the effort, we can't help you and get you to that result, because that's impossible if you don't, put in the work, right? So our core values are like, okay, we need somebody that's going to be respectful of us and our time, and respectful of our authority, have that level of trust and loyalty that we can help them and partner with them. And then also they have to be willing and to put in the work. They have to be willing to say, hey, I need to show up on camera. Hey, I need to make sure my, office or our products are ready to shoot when we show up on site. Like sometimes you show up on site and like nothing's ready. And it's like, that's a lack of respect for our time and for your business, right? So it's just like, as you go on, you kind of understand what you like and what you don't like. And it's just having that gut feeling of who's aligned with you, right? Like everybody has that gut feeling. So as soon as we get on a call with somebody or I meet someone in person, I know if like they're going to be difficult. And 9 times out of 10, I'm right, because I've taken on some clients and I'm just like, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Like it kind of bites you in the long run, no matter how good the money is. Like it's going to end up being a headache in the long run. So it's just understanding what are your core values, who do you want to work with, what are those criteria that are going to make them an easier client to work with. You're always going to have hiccups, you're always going to butt heads, but it's just having that open lines of communication and just understanding who you're really going to be working with is really important. And it's kind of just like an inner knowing, I guess, and just aligning with those core values. It's not really like, I can't really say it's like a checklist of anything, but maybe just knowing who your ideal customer really is important. So, yeah.
we're very aware that in the first couple of years when you're bootstrapping it, you're a new entrepreneur, you have to wear all of the hats.
Yeah.
At what point is that entrepreneur ready to hire an agency like yours?
To like offload their marketing and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
When there's no time in the day for them to like market their business, when they're overwhelmed, they don't have the creativity to show up. They have the extra income coming in to maybe outsource some things. Because like obviously you have to pay to work with somebody, but it's that, again, that inner knowing of like, I can't grow like this. Like that's the feeling I always have whenever I need to hire or expand. It's like, I'm the bottleneck. I can't grow like this. I need somebody else so that we can keep giving the service delivery of the clients and also keep growing. And so it's the same thing with people that want to hire us, right? So if like, say like I'm a business owner of a brand or a business and it's like, okay, it was just me. And now I'm looking at, okay, I want to grow the business, but I can't because I'm stuck at where I am, but I know I need to keep marketing. That's the point where it's like, okay, maybe you need to outsource it, right? You don't want to relinquish full control, which we never do. We work one-on-one with businesses in terms of content approvals, like brand strategy, all that kind of stuff. But it's that feeling of like, okay, I can't grow like this. I'm the bottleneck, right? And so that's the marker for me. And I think it's a lot like that for other business owners and founders as well.
And you said a keyword, and you said it earlier. Word control.
Yeah.
I've seen so many new entrepreneurs not want to give up control, except the ironic part is that they're not in control of anything in their life at that point.
Yeah, I know. It's so funny, right?
Yeah. So how do you make that transition from being like, when you hire an agency like yours for the first time, you're taking something that is your baby, something that you've done all on your own, and now you are handing over some control to somebody like you, or a different agency, or even an accountant, like whatever the thing is you're outsourcing. You have to put trust in the person that you're working with. Otherwise, what happens?
You don't grow and you don't scale and the business suffers for it, kind of thing, or you are burnt out and overwhelmed for the rest of your life, kind of thing, right? And you mentioned, it's that trust, right? So that's why we really try and get to know like clients and stuff like that. Like you don't just fill on a form and then we're like, yep, looks good, sign on here. Like it's not that. It's a very customized and personalized process so that we can get to know you and how you work. You get to know us and how we work. Like my big thing is transparency. Like if there's the littlest update, like we'll email or we'll call the client, we'll text the client, whatever the lines of communications are. And it's again, just being authentic in who you are and what you're trying to do, right? And we really look to put that trust whenever we work with clients. It's just having that trust factor and understanding who you're working with, and the transparency I think is really important. And a lot of the times there isn't a lot of transparency when it comes to business, but it's like, hey, we need to know your numbers so that we can help them grow. Like, so if you're not willing to share that with me, how am I knowing where I'm starting, right? Like, it's like, that's something we talked about early on when I was like, how do I ask people what their numbers are? She goes, well, you kind of have to if you're going to help them grow it. And I'm like, that's true, right? But there's always this like scarcity about money and it's taboo and this and that, but it's just like, it's a reality. Like if we're trying to help your business grow and scale, I need to know the baseline of where we're at. Right. And so again, it's having that trust and just being authentic and transparent. And we really try and be that. So whenever somebody comes on, like we have a discovery call, then we have another call, we walk them through how things are going to work. And then we, handhold through that process and stuff. So they feel supported and that they still have that level of control while still giving some of it to us. Like I always say, my goal here is to take things off your plate. Whenever we onboard somebody, I say, because you can't keep operating like this, because I have operated like that and it's not going to work. Right. So I'm like, my goal is here to take your marketing and your social media and whatever we're doing for you off your plate so that you can just look at and say, yes, that's exactly what I wanted. Publish it. That's all I need you to do. Right. We never take away full control. We work in partnership with people, but it's taking out the work and the service delivery that they're currently experiencing. And it's just that transparency factor, and people really appreciate it along the way. So
I think you made another really great point, is too many times people attach this emotion to the dollar amount.
Yes.
So to detach that energy, because it's just math, right?
Yeah. Even with you, like I've gotten very open with you, like talking about my numbers because I want to know how to make them better. And I'm like, this is just, money is energy. you know? And yeah, so I'm not asking somebody how much they make so that I can upcharge them, you know, up the wazoo. Like we have set prices, like no matter how big your business is, it's all about the amount of work involved, right? Like I'm never going to screw anybody over because that's just not ethical or good business practice. But if like, hey, if you're making 100K a month and you want to, you know, double that or whatever, like we need to know that so that we can get to that point, and we need to like reverse engineer those numbers, right? So it's not like we're just posting for pretty pictures and fun. Like it's like, no, we want marketing that's going to convert for you, so we need to know your numbers. And yeah, a lot long in the beginning I was afraid to do that, but in the end it kind of bit us in the ass because we didn't have anything to, you know, any datable from, because we were just marketing for pretty pictures, right? And that's not how it works anymore. People need to see an ROI or some sort of conversion in their marketing, what they're doing, and you need to know the numbers to be able to do that. And so, yeah, it's just take away the emotion from it. Like it's just, I need to know where you're at so we can get you to the other point, kind of thing. That's all it is. Like I don't really care, right? And that's what it is. It's just, yeah, like taking that emotion away.
I love it. Breanne, if you were to go back to a younger version of yourself, what advice would you give yourself?
Ooh, that's good. Do it scared, I think.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. Because I was such a scared kid. You ask my mom, I was so afraid of anything. Like I mentioned, like having a weekend plan. Like I was literally panic attack on the floor, you know? And I think people think like everything needs to feel good in order to go forward. But no, sometimes it fucking sucks. You know, like I just went to a conference last week that I got given like a free ticket to go to. I did not want to go, but I met some really great people, and I knew I needed to push myself out of my comfort zone to be able to improve, because that's just the way of life. Like growth is uncomfortable. And that's something I've always like gone to therapy about, written in my journal. It's like, it's uncomfortable because you're growing, because you're not used to this. So I think doing it scared was something I wish that I knew just more to push myself from, because I was always scared. So no matter what I did, I was scared, right? And so I lived in that fear for so long, but only until I pushed myself and I pushed through the fear, or I worked through the fear, or I did it anxious, then I grew and I became better. And I think it's not talked about more, because a lot of life is uncomfortable, but the best things and the best decisions are on the other side of fear and uncomfortability. And I think that's the most important thing. Yeah.
You know, there's something I appreciate about you is, you know, there's some, I'll say women entrepreneurs specifically, I'm sure there's guys too, but who reached their first set of goal, and maybe there was 60K for the year or something. And then they almost switched from, you know, insecurity, imposter syndrome over to the other side, to arrogance. And they're no longer coachable, and they're not willing to learn. But you've hit goal after goal after goal, and you managed to stay in the state of gratitude. What do you do there? Do you practice that? What is like,
yeah.
You are a go-getter.
Yeah.
So stay in the state of gratitude.
I just wake up every day that I'm healthy, that I have a family that supports me, that I live in a safe country, I have a roof over my head. Like it can all be taken away in an instant, you know, like health can be taken away in an instant, you know, you don't know when your last day is. And so I'm always going to carry that with me and keep rooted. And my parents really raised me to be grateful for what we have, because they had some rough upbringing and stuff like that. And I've seen the other side of it, and I've seen people that have struggled. And I think it's just having that humbleness. Is that a word? Being humble, because it can all be taken away like in an instant, right? Like you don't know like how healthy you are until you're not, right? And I've done some volunteering in town and stuff like that with cancer survivors and cancer victims, and it just puts things into perspective. And I've had family members that have all of a sudden had a life-altering diagnosis and they had no idea, and then they're given 3 months to live. Like what? You know, so if you live every day in gratitude, you've lived like your best day every day, you know? And so, yeah, there's some days are hard, and, you know, you can have a bad day, but don't live in that mindset, you know? And so I wake up every day and I just say, thank you for my body. Thank you for my home. Thank you for the health of my friends and my family. Like every morning I get up and I go outside, even in the wintertime, I'm just like, thank you for this day. Thank you for the safe country. You know, like there's so much like going on in the world. Like if you don't just check in and ground yourself, like you can, of course, you can float off into arrogance and into being egotistical and all this kind of stuff. But like, I've worked so hard to get where I am because I just want to live every day to its fullest, right? And so that's why I just didn't want to keep going in a 9 to 5, because I wanted to see my potential and how far I could get and how much good I can put in the world and how many people I can help. And I think if you live every day in that gratitude mindset, you've just lived every day to its fullest. And I think that's just so important to do, and just how to be in life, really. Yeah.
So what's next for you?
What's not next? Like, I don't know.
What are you working towards?
Well, like obviously growing the business, but again, I want to get into that space of like similar to what you do, but just like helping people that are in that, mindset of like, I want more for myself, but I'm kind of stuck at where I am, whether that be with imposter syndrome, anxiety, like a health diagnosis, depression. I want to help people like push through that and do it scared, or do not knowing what's next. Like, so I want to build that community and help people in the way that like I kind of helped myself, and just show them that there is more than the mundane and the norm and what society expects of you. And you can take some big risks and do some big things if you're just kind of jump in and do it scared. And so, yeah, I want to build up that community and help other entrepreneurs and founders and aspiring business owners just push through that fear. And so, yeah, so we're working on that, but along with the business and along with, everyday life. But I always have so many ideas. And I love that I live every day with so much just energy of how I can improve and what more I can do. It's a cool place to be, and you're not just an autopilot. You're always looking at how you can, do more and do better and be better. And I think that's just pretty cool way to be and way to live.
I love it. You lead our marketing roundtables every month. Mm-hmm. You see women coming in and all the questions that they have. They're in the do-it-yourself phase as they're growing sometimes, or sometimes it's just understanding so that they can communicate better with their teams. And then there's the women who are in corporate, who are working their 9 to 5. They're working right now to build their side business, whether it's consulting or product-based or whatever that is, to replace their day-to-day paycheck. Mm-hmm. Any final points of advice or guidance that you would give these women who are maybe scared to take the jump, mm-hmm. or have hit a ceiling at some point to go past that ceiling?
Mm-hmm. In terms of just showing up in business is like, you got to do it scared, and you have to do it messy, and nothing's going to be done and perfect 100%. And in terms of like showing up online, we just talked about like the messy middle. Like there's always that piece about it being messy and not perfect. And like, I know like on my social media, like I've kept every single post I've ever posted in the last 4 years. And I always say to people, if you want to look at cringe, please go look at my social media from 4 years ago. It's horrible, but I will leave it up there forever, because it's literally the foundation of what I stand on. That like, there's a cringe period, there's a messy factor, there's not knowing exactly what you're doing. But if you're always honest and you're always improving and looking to better your craft, I think that shows up authentically for people. Like 4 years ago, I didn't really know what the hell I was doing. Like I had a marketing degree. I did some work in marketing for a couple of years, but like, did I really know what I was doing? No. Now I'm like, okay, I kind of know what I'm doing, but every day I'm learning more, right? And I'm trying to learn from people. And I think that's important, that you're always going to be learning. You're always going to be working on yourself. It's never
like the more you learn, the more you have to learn.
Exactly. Yeah. Like life is meant to be lived by just learning and how to better improve. And so I think, just don't be afraid to just jump in and try and see what works, and do it afraid. If you have those days where you're overwhelmed and you're scared and you're anxious, just say, like, take a step back and remember why you're doing it. Are you doing it for your family? Are you doing it for yourself, for your safety? Are you doing it, to have something that's you can be proud of and you work on yourself? Are you doing it to be, financially self-sustaining and self-sufficient? And I think it's important to get back to that. In the days it's hard, just stop and remember, like, why am I doing this? And is this just a temporary feeling? And can I push through this to get me where I want to go? And I think it's about mindset. A lot of it is mindset. You can accomplish anything you set your mind to. And my mom always said to me, you've been through 100% of your hardest days. And that literally has saved my life, because there are some days that I was like, I'm dying. This is death. Like literally, like I felt so terrible, anxiety, depression. I was like, there's no way out of this. But she said, you've gone through 100% of your hardest days. And if you're here today and you're talking to somebody or you're listening to this, you've gone through it. And so you can push past it to get to your goals of where you want to go. And I think that's an important thing to live by.
Mom, that was a good line. I like that.
Yeah. Oh God, she's got some good ones. Yeah, oh man. Yeah. She's gotten me through some hard times because she's been through a lot of hard times herself. So yeah, and just lean on people and find your support system because you can't do it alone. And that's important.
So good. Where can people check you out?
I'm all over the place. I'm on every social platform known to man. I'm Soleil Media _Bree on Instagram. I'm Breanne Jones on LinkedIn. Soleil Media Group. .com is my website, and yeah, I'm all over the place. Just look us up, Soleil Media. Yeah, we're there.
Thank you so much for sharing your wow effects with us today on the Wow Effects podcast.
Thank you.
The guest.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah. If you enjoyed today's conversation, make sure to follow the show so you don't miss an episode. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you're going to love what we have coming up. If you found value in what you heard, share it with a friend who might need it too. Until next time, keep building your dream life and your dream business.